Imagine New York unlike anything you've seen before. A city guided entirely by the most advanced AI. Today I'm your test subject in this high-tech experiment. Can artificial intelligence reveal secrets of the Big Apple that even a seasoned guide like me hasn't seen? Let's find out. We partnered up with a free AI travel assistant named Magic for the video, and we're gonna need some magic to make sure we don't get one of those tired itineraries I always see online. I want an itinerary that's a mix of hidden gems, cool places to eat, and not too touristy. I'd like to walk everywhere. All right, we're starting with breakfast at Cafe Mogador in the East Village. I've never even heard of this spot. Let's see what it says. Classic Moroccan flavors and outdoor seating draw a bohemian crowd to this neighborhood standby. This is definitely my type of place. Cozy cafe, village vibes, loving it. We're most definitely here for breakfast. This is an impressive menu. Yeah, I want to try the Moroccan mint tea. Oh, little crackers, nice. Moroccan mint tea. This feels very fancy. And that's hot. Oh, this mint tea is so refreshing. And then we have the little cookies too. This should be a cool place to come to if you just want a coffee or a tea break in the middle of the day. Thank you. I ordered their famous Middle Eastern breakfast, scrambled eggs, hummus, tabbouleh, Middle Eastern salad. Got some of their house-made hot sauce as well. That's the right kick. Some of their pita right here. This is exactly what I would want to start my day if I was a tourist. This is proof that a healthy breakfast does not have to be boring. Lots of flavors going on here. I'm enjoying dipping the pita bread right here in the hummus. I love supporting local businesses like this. They've been open since 1983. And let me tell you, it's very difficult to keep a restaurant in business for 40 years in the East Village unless you know what you're doing. So Magic, this was a good pick. I'm impressed with our first pick of the day. The Strand Bookstore. This is really cool how it compiles little notes at the bottom. Bookworm's Paradise, an endless selection of books across multiple floors, including rare and ancient ones. Unlike Cafe Mogador, I have been to Strand many times. We could call this a tourist trap, but I'd also call it a locals trap because I love this place. I rarely come here and not buy something, and they even have a whole selection of cheap books outside. I've seen them as low as $1. Like the best New York book section in the entire city. I could spend an hour just looking through this stuff. Actually, if you need a good New York City gift, come to the second floor of the Strand. Pick one of these books. They even have little games too. I may have to buy this for my son, Alexander. Good night, New York City. Remember what I said about always buying something when I come to the Strand? Every time. All right, somebody just asked me a really good question, okay? Vigilant viewers, what is the only state in the US that ends with the letter K? Think about it. Stroll through Washington Square Park, historic Greenwich Village, concrete and green park known for its stately arch and prime people watching. I used to live 5 minutes from here. This would definitely be on my locals pick. It's extremely crowded with college students and all the young people of New York, lots of live performances. People trying to solicit you for this, that, you can imagine. I used to give tours to all my friends visiting, and one fact I remembered was that the Washington Square Arch was built for the 100th anniversary of George Washington's inauguration. For my photographers and videographers out there, there was always this really cool little trick I would show people. If you look right through the center of the Washington Square Arch, perfectly in the middle is the Empire State Building. Washington Square North here is one of the most beautiful streets in all of Greenwich Village. And there's actually a little hidden gem around the corner that we're just gonna throw onto this itinerary for fun because we're right here. Block and a half from the park, Washington Muse. Now this place actually blew up on TikTok a few years ago, so you couldn't walk here without 100 people with their phones out, but now, super chill. Makes you feel like you're in the early 1900s in Greenwich Village. Stone streets and beautiful looking homes that basically retain that exact charm. So if you want a quick photo stop, go here. Lunch at Italy. Now, I'm completely stuffed from that brunch at Cafe Mogador, but I do think this is worth checking out even though it is extremely touristy. It is another one of those spots like the Strand that I will go to every time I walk by just because of all the cool Italian items inside. Looking for cool gifts, a cool place to snack, coffee. This is it right here. All the Italian chocolate your heart could possibly desire everywhere here. I feel like in every culture, these circular containers of cookies are a thing, and after a while, you don't put cookies in here, but something else. Maybe New York's largest selection of olive oil. 24-month Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. This is the missing ingredient in a lot of New York's best pizza. You never say no to free samples. That's a rule anywhere you go in the world.
This is panettone and crema al pistacchio.
Oh, cool, thank you. Samples normally don't taste that good. So instead of lunch, we're going to do an espresso shot from Italy. It's almost impossible to find a seat in there, so as long as it's over like 40 degrees, I sit outside. Italy is, again, one of those rare spots that I do think is a bit of a tourist trap. The locals like it as well because it just got so much going on in there. You know, one thing I've liked about the itinerary that we have for today is I asked for everything to be within walking distance, and it all has been, and it's pretty much fit all the parameters that I was looking for. So far, color me impressed. This is like the speakeasy of museums. I think I've walked by here 100 times and never even turned my head. Merchant's House Museum, a preserved 19th century home of a wealthy merchant family with intact interiors and exteriors. Let's see how the rich people lived in the 19th century. I've never heard of this place. That's right up my alley. Let's ring the bell. How are you? I'm John.
Hi. So the New York Times has called us the most haunted house in New York. Ever since Gertrude Treadwell, the last resident of this house, died in the house. Apparitions have been reported, sounds, visual anomalies.
Okay, we just learned something new. We're in the most haunted home in New York. $15 for a self-guided tour. You just scan these QR codes. And I'm already learning a lot. This is the only home preserved intact from the 19th century in all of New York City with the family's original furniture, decorative, and household objects, even their clothing and personal items. We're in the double parlor and they decorated this like Christmas in the 19th century. This is Eliza Treadwell's bedroom. Now back in the 19th century, husbands and wives had separate bedrooms, and I was told downstairs this is the most haunted room on the tour, and I feel a little colder. Maybe it's just me, maybe something just came up on my neck and gave me goosebumps, but I just felt a little colder. Because this is New York's most haunted house, they have 24-hour cameras and footage going to try to capture any paranormal activity. And they even have the EMFs in here. If you ever watch like those ghost hunting shows, the servants' quarters are one more flight up. Of course, they get the 4th floor walk up. This is the most simple room of the tour, and apparently they had 4 Irish maidservants who were on call 24 hours a day. That's the little bell right there if they were ever called. Back-breaking work. Also, they have a beautiful garden in the backyard, which I think is worth the price of admission alone to the museum. Important note, they are fighting for their survival due to nearby construction, so I'm putting a link in the description if you want to visit here, and of course, if you want to donate anything to keep this incredible museum going. Well, that was impressive, and I have to say, I like where AI is going right now with travel. Now, on the Magic website, they have a really cool feature where you can even ask it specific questions. So you could say, show me more hidden gem museums like the Merchant's House Museum, and it'll put it right on screen for you. The only thing missing here is the velvet rope, and I feel like we're about to walk into a nightclub. Huge, lavishly decorated restaurant offering a menu of Asian dishes and cocktails. Ambiance alert. The restaurant's ambiance is highly praised with a unique decor and different rooms to explore. Reservations recommended. Well, lucky us, we made them. Ooh. Feels fancier than we normally eat at. This place is definitely a vibe though. This feels like super date night. I don't have a date, so you're all stuck with me. That is a serious banquet table right there. This is a pretty epic walk to our table. This is unique. I just keep looking up. Everything here is shareable. So this is a date spot, group spot.
Here is the indulge.
Oh, thank you. I think this is a lot more Sex and the City vibe than I normally go for on the channel. That's why we're doing this video, to show me new things too. I get down a lot of these in a row and it wouldn't be pretty. So we got the dim sum for 2, and there's a lot going on here. The spring roll is just packed with flavor. I can already see the vibe of what they're doing here, like elevating, I don't know, traditional Chinese dishes and adding a little spice, a little flavor, a little fusion. I've never even heard of edamame dumplings before, and they said this is one of their most famous dim sum choices. All right, let's give this a go. Really tasty. Their pork pot sticker. Juicy, tasty. Carrot dumplings. You know what, not everything in your life always has to have meat. Definitely taking traditional dim sum like to a different level. These dim sums mostly have their own sauce already, so you don't really have to think too much. Impressive. They recommended we try the Peking duck for 2, so I put just about everything in this little wrap here. So again, super coupley, super good for 2 people. Let's see how the Peking duck goes down. Some bold flavors going on here. You know, this is a complete opposite of doing one of those cheap eats videos in Queens, Chinatown, and Flushing. We do the duck bows and then go into a fancier restaurant like this. You can really go full circle in New York, I'm telling you. And spicy peanut noodles top this all off. Not too spicy, just right. Oh, well, I'm full, and that's fancier than I normally do, but I would recommend that for a great date night. And I think that a website like Magic is really cool right now, and AI is coming so far where you shouldn't just rely on YouTube videos and blogs. You can use AI to your benefit to help you plan trips. Heck, I found stuff today that I didn't even know existed. And if you want to play around and build your own New York itinerary, see the link to Magic in the description down below and find some of your own hidden gems out there. Now that you've got a pretty cool itinerary down, you might want to book some attractions, and it's super overwhelming. So in this video here, we share the top 10 attractions you must visit in 2024. Head to your next.